Hi, good morning, everyone. I have been with the Red Tab Foundation for 11 years, and I often say I have the best job in the whole company because I get to, every single day, hear stories of people who need help and then people who get it. And so I'm really excited today to get to share one of those stories with you. Please join me in welcoming Emely Acosta to our conversation.
Hi.
Okay, Emely, you've had quite a journey with Levi's. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your career here?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I was born in the Dominican Republic. I came to New York when I was about 5 years old. And to be honest, I hated it. I lived in a house with open fields, vibrant colors. So to come to New York and see these tall, gray buildings, I was like, ew, what is this? And it was cold. So it wasn't my ideal temperature. I also couldn't speak English. So it took me a while. By the 4th grade, I was able to speak English fluently, which meant I became the translator by default for my family. So legal documents, doctor's appointments, everything, I did it. I started my journey with Levi's when I was 18 in Macy's. I worked in the Levi's section. A couple years later, I worked my way up. I became a merchandise coordinator for the wholesale organization. And then last year in June, I got promoted to assistant store manager for Levi's in Times Square. I am really proud to work for a company that values its employees the way that Levi's does.
Wow, so you've really spent your whole career here at Levi's.
Yeah.
And my boss, Kelly, often says people come for the brand and they stay for the values, and I think that's really true. In the Red Tab Foundation, we have the privilege of embodying our value of empathy to the tune of about $2.3 million every year, and thousands of families around the globe who are really feeling that impact. There are lots of things that are different around the world as we provide assistance to people. I've learned all kinds of things about how the healthcare system works in Mexico and how do we navigate works councils in Europe. But I think there is a huge commonality across all of these geographies, which is that we have a lot of employees who are serving as caretakers for their family. So, Emely, can you share a little bit about what led you to apply for support from Red Tab?
Yeah, so 2 months exactly before I got promoted, my mom got diagnosed with polymyalgia, which is a type of arthritis where basically your bones stiffen. So she was working full-time healthy for 20 years as a home attendant, and in the blink of an eye, she was reduced to a toddler. So she couldn't she couldn't close her hands, she couldn't feed herself, she couldn't get up out of bed without having an assistant with her. My sister at the time, she was 17, and she was a senior in high school. And I didn't want her to miss out on her prom or her graduation, so I ended up moving back in with my mom just to take care of the both of them. While I was there, I found out that we were backed up on rent, about $10,000 exactly, and then we got the eviction letter. So there's this phrase in Spanish that's called ponte las pilas, and it literally translates to put on your batteries. But it basically just means you got to get it together, right? And that's what I had to do. I had to figure out what I had to do.
Okay, so let me make sure I got this right. You're dealing with all of this at home.
Yeah.
And then you get this promotion. And yeah. Times Square, for those of you who don't know, is one of our largest and highest grossing stores. So this is a huge deal that you got this promotion. And I'm sure you're trying to balance, right? How are you caring for your mom? How are you showing up as your best self at work? And that's something I think a lot of us probably can relate to. What was your experience like asking for help from the Red Tab Foundation, and how did they respond when you called?
I was really embarrassed. I am the oldest daughter or the oldest child, so I'm not really used to seeking help. I'm the person that everybody comes to for help. Sorry, I'm really nervous. So for weeks, I've kind of debated whether or not I wanted to apply, and I just kept thinking, I don't know if I qualify, I'm not sure if it's for me, I don't know how it worked. And then I finally applied just because I felt like my back was up against the wall. I didn't really have anything else going. And then, in a sense, it's like I still couldn't really believe that Levi's had something like this. Like, what company gives out money to its employees, right? But when I finally applied, I think Emily, we have the same name. Emily got back to me within a couple of days. I think she got back to me the next day, actually. I submitted my documents, and she was really helpful throughout the whole experience. She just kept reminding me that things happen. No one really knows what's going to happen. So it definitely took away some of the shame that I carried for applying. By the end of the week, she ended up emailing me around like 4 p.m. on a Friday. She didn't want me to wait until Monday to get the money. So I ended up emailing her my bank accounts, and within 10 minutes, the money was in my account. I did end up receiving the max, $7,500, which allowed us to negotiate with the landlord, and we were eventually able to stop the eviction process.
I'm so glad to hear that. I think I'm sensing a theme of Emily's taking over the world. My oldest daughter is Emily. It's like this, got to get it together. I hear that. Yeah. I'm really glad that you had the courage to reach out and ask for help. And, hearing about your interactions with Emily, how we hustled to try to get you the funds by the end of the week. We work really hard to make the process easy, but it's certainly not transactional. And I think for all of us, being that listening ear and being able to walk with someone through a tough situation in their life is an essential part of how we show up for people when they need help. So last question for you, Emily. How has RTF support impacted the way you show up at work and your relationship with Levi's as a company?
Yeah, it was a huge weight off my shoulder. My whole life, my mom took care of us without any hesitation. So the fact that I was able to give her that help was really helpful, especially because I didn't want her to stress over finances when she was going through such a big crisis during her time. It definitely also allowed me to be fully present at work. It was fresh, new role. I was still trying to understand retail procedures and everything. So a lot was happening at the same time. And I also wanted to make sure that my sister went to prom, graduated on time, all of that. And a little update, my mom is doing much better now. My sister, she is thank you. My sister is a freshman at Bard College, and I was finally able to move out of my mom's house again. So yeah. And with that, I just wanted to say that it definitely boosted my loyalty to Levi's. I've never worked for a company that took pride in helping its employees. And the experience also helped me see that there is no reason to be embarrassed. I think we all go through it, and I think that we forget that a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, and if one paycheck gets missed, it's like all hell breaks loose. So I wanted to say thank you to the Red Top Foundation for the help that they gave me, and I also wanted to thank Levi's as a whole, because without the help, I don't know where I would have been. So thank you.